Alright, so in this video, in This Shit is Yoga series, what I want you to start to connect with is that yoga is found in everything, or can be, I should say. It doesn't mean that when you're on a, what is it, 2x4 mat or 5-foot mat, that's yoga. No, that's asana. Asana is a movement practice of a larger expanse, which is called yoga. So yoga is union, and that's what we're looking for, is bringing in kind of this deeper sense of self, whatever that is, or we're cultivating or exploring into each activity. That means bench pressing. That shit is yoga. That means doing laundry. That shit is yoga. That means, I don't know, driving to the store. That shit is yoga. And we're just going to bring those elements so that you're getting away from being very, very compartmentalized in your application, and go like, oh, this is yoga, this is like, oh, super calm, relaxed, and then trying to have that where it's bleeding over, and so that you have more continuity. And so we're just expanding it to another asana or movement practice. I'm going to cover bringing an intentional component to your exercise routine, right? You've got your structure. I do my warm-up, I do my skill work, I do my strength work, and then I do my conditioning. Whatever that structure is, this is an important piece to that. And it can actually be part of a warm-up. It can be built into those structures already, but we want to make sure we have the space to really focus on attention. Now, why is focusing in on attention important? Because it keeps the torch lit. It allows you, when you're in maybe a state of lack of motivation or tiredness, and you know that the most skillful thing and the wisest thing to do is to lean into that a little bit. It allows you to continue to push through when it's appropriate. It also allows you to redirect your efforts, not just so that you're achieving your goal, but it also is an altruistic endeavor. That means something that is focused on self-care is actually this greater expansive service to others. And I struggle with this. Many clients of mine, many people I know struggle with this. It's because there's a sense of guilt, because service to us is sometimes thought of as sacrifice. But remember, this is the vehicle of service. You got to change the oil. You can't just throw gas in it and just like turn the key and expect it to work all the time. You got to like fine tune that thing, right? That's what we're doing. So the intention is, we're looking at, okay, why are we fine-tuning this beautiful vehicle? That's what we're doing. So what does intention look like in an actual practice of your movement session? So it's generally going to be very simple, and it's about centering. And generally I just recommend several minutes of just some sort of breath meditation or breath focus or breath work. And in this one, it can be a little bit more, I would say maybe intense, but I would like it to be more of kind of like the settling, and so that your mind is staying nice and still. Once you have a degree of stillness, then from there you start to go, okay, like, why am I here? If think about this. This could be your very last session of doing exercise. Why are you here? Don't you want to be able to experience this in this ultimate service? Don't you want to just embody that and just enjoy each component of it? So this is what we're doing. And you just go, okay, why am I here? And there are different categories for why you are here. And we're going to work on different levels of that. So first, we establish a sense of stillness, kind of like the awareness, connecting to awareness. And then the first intention or result or thing that we're looking at is why we're stepping into the gym is more towards this vehicle. All right, the I, the self, okay, the body. And so there might be composition goals. It might be speed goals. It could be health goals. It could be many different goals, but it's about this individual self. So 1, awareness. 2, the individual self goal. 3, the we goal. So the we goal is going from this it, the body, myself, to going like, okay, with this, how does this influence or improve or affect my relationships? And I don't want this to be hypothetical. I want you to think about, when you're cultivating this, how is that going to influence your love relationships, your familiar relationships, your relationships with your coworkers and your friends? And you're literally visualizing the potential benefits of that. That's why you're doing it. I'll give you an example of this. I tend to be on the more of the high stress side. It may seem weird, but it's true. It's like I definitely feel, and I have to kind of like usually harbor a whole ton of energy in that sense. So for me, a parasympathetic practice or cardio at a lower intensity is going to allow me to be more parasympathetically activated, right? So I have more this rest and digest balance with this fight and flight system. So I may not want to do that. Though I might say, okay, all right, I know that if I do more steady state cardio, I'm going to be more calm and relaxed. All right, and maybe that's not going to be enough to push you. And that's you're like, I'm here to be calm and relaxed. And then I go, okay, well, if I'm more calm and relaxed, how does that affect my closest relationships? How does that affect my business? How does that affect whatever that is when you're having interpersonal relationships? Visualize, how does that play out? That might give you a little bit more of an oomph and kind of push or energy to do that. Then we zoom out last time, and we go think about it as the collective, the us, and we're getting beyond boundaries. You can go national, you can go world, you can go universe, but we're trying to expand beyond just the kind of like these smaller and smaller containers to larger and larger and more inclusive ways or references to the world and existence. That might be like, okay, well, how is me being fit going to affect healthcare system? How is it going to affect, I don't know, the world hunger? I don't know. There's the thing is, whatever is important to you, you make that connection to it. And there is a connection. It just takes a little creative curiosity to get into it. So again, this process is 1, breath centering, focusing and connecting to awareness. Once we are connected to awareness, then we think about it as our own personal goal. So what we think about is this individual self, this vehicular maintenance goal. Then you kind of, once you're connecting to that, what does that feel like? What would that look like? And then you go into the we, so you expand out to a larger reference. And then that we is like, okay, how does me having this greater integration with my body or greater vehicular kind of abundance, how does that help those relationships? And then we go to the final one, which is the us or the collective. So that's one easy way to think about and bringing things together in as an intentional movement practice. And the more you do this, the more you're going to have moments of just purity, in a sense, of just being aware and inhabiting fully your movement. And to get like kind of more like geeky on the nuances of it, like you're going to have a positive emotional response, which is a positive physiological thing that's going to happen from that. You're going to actually have increased sensitivity and awareness in your movement session. That means you're more aware, you have more efficient movement, you're less likely to be injured, you can actually even tune in to the sensations you need to and tune out the ones that you maybe don't want to like pay attention to. Like, oh man, I'm doing a bunch of intervals and this feels horrible, but like I can pay attention to my foot stroke. These are all parts of those practices so that you're not just zoning out in your exercise, you're not just doing it in a masturbatory way, you are getting in deep. It is mind, body, no delineation, no separation. One full practice. This shit is yoga.